Well, hi there. Warm welcome. You're watching Blueprint Explosive Exclusive with me, Meghna Deka. First up on the bulletin, we are going to start with a shocker from Karnataka. The state speaker, UT Khader, today has sparked off a massive VVIP row after Congress MLA Narendra Swamy demanded a separate VIP lane for all legislators and former ministers at toll plazas, including on Bengaluru-Mysuru highway, claiming that the authorities were not allowing them to cross even after showing passes allotted to them. In fact, UT Khader even asked the PW minister to call for the NHAI meet to ask for VVIP lanes for only MLAs and former MLAs at toll booths as well. He's demanded that the changes be made to cover former MLAs. Satish Jarkioli, meanwhile, has assured to raise this issue with NHAI officials. Listen in to the shocking VVIP entitlement and mindset.
ಅವರನ್ನು ಕರೆಸಿಕೊಂಡು ಚರ್ಚೆ ಮಾಡಿ ಒಂದು ಲೈನ್ ವಿಐಪಿ ಲೈನ್ ಅವರ ಪಾಲಿಸಿ ಮಾಜಿ ಶಾಸಕ ಕೂಡ ಸೇರ್ಪಡೆ ಮಾಡಲಿಕ್ಕೆ ತಮ್ಮ ಕ್ರಮ ತಗೊಳ್ಬೇಕು. ಚರ್ಚೆ
ಡಾಕ್ಟ್ರೆ Well, after the outrage over the VVIP mindset, UT Khader has clarified, saying that there was never a demand for a special lane, but to incorporate whatever was available and also the treatment of MLAs at toll plazas that he had actually spoken about.
One MLA was harassed by a tall person. Another Swamy is an MLA. And we had raised a question in the colleagues in the assembly. And the issue was, one thing, the irresponsible way of behaving of this toll staff. Second thing is, they don't have an emergency and a separate lane. See, every toll, there is an emergency. But in the Mysore-Bangalore road, in this toll, this was not there. No. There is no question of separate VVIP lane. And it's not practical also.
Meanwhile, former Karnataka Chief Minister Bopanna has slammed the Congress's Lal Batti mindset, saying that the BJP does not accept this culture.
Sir, there's also issue of separate lanes for ministers and MLAs, sir. What do you have to say on that?
That is a VIP culture we are not allowed. It is very surprising that the Speaker has allowed it. Probably under the pressure of our esteemed friends in the Congress, he has done it.
Absolutely. This is an entire issue which has been part of the VIP culture. How can you have streets dedicated to VIP movement? If the VIP is in such an urgency, he has to travel with the common man. Ultimately, he is answerable to the common man. The common man has put him where he is. And to say that he will not be using that road, I mean, it's the height of the kind of VIP culture that they are practicing.
But some BJP MLAs have also backed the demand for a separate lane for the VIP netas. Listen in.
नहीं, वही है. अभी क्या है, पूरा जनरल क्यू में नहीं जा सकता है. आधा घंटा 1 घंटा उधर रोकना पड़ेगा. सो सेपरेट वीआईपी एम्बुलेंस का होना चाहिए. उधर नहीं है वो. सो जरूर होना चाहिए.
In fact, Times Now has also travelled across to the toll plaza in question to get a view of what really the locals there have been thinking about this demand coming in from the MLAs. Let's tell you what has happened.
Even as some of the MLAs in Karnataka demand a separate lane for, the legislators to travel, we're standing here at the Electronic City Hosur toll gate, where, of course, you see already there is a separate lane that has been designated for the VIP movement and for the ambulances. And more importantly, despite this line being available, despite a pass being given to the legislators, the legislators somewhere want something different at this point in time. They say that they are being harassed at the toll gates, asked to show ID cards. The question is, does the common man, what does he really feel about this? Because you see, despite the FASTag being here, even now you're looking at, a lot of people still waiting. Let's try and get in an opinion from one of them here. Sir, now the MLAs in Karnataka want a separate lane for the VIP movement of the MLAs. Do you think it's right?
first of all, we have to create the different lane system. First of all, we are struggling during the peak hours from 8 to 10 o'clock and the evening from 5 to 7 o'clock. We have to wait more than half an hour.
So do you think it's right for MLAs to have a separate lane, them asking them they should have separate lane?
Create the infrastructure. Make it easy for normal citizen people. Then make it for MLA lanes.
So
and
you're saying
MP
for the normal
lanes.
citizens itself, the infrastructure is not good enough?
Yes,
right?
yes.
Well, and you usually travel on this lane? Very often on this road?
Yeah, very often. We reside in Electronic City itself.
Okay. Well, a very interesting statement from one of the citizens saying that, well, the infrastructure that's currently available is not good enough for the common man itself. So what happens, while if you give us a...
The VIPs for majority of the highways. I don't know about the key highways, but because everyone who is traveling is always on the rush, because driving in itself is in the rush. Like, everyone who stops at the lane, they don't want to spend more time. It can be inconvenient for some people. You should not just refer one incident. If it's a problem persisting in every other place, every other toll gate or every other VIP is facing such issue, then you can take such a decision of separate lanes and all.
This is completely unacceptable. First of all, we are the taxpayers and we pay a lot of tax to the government, central and everyone. And there should not be this system like a free access lane to MLAs or others. It should be a same one. And I totally condemn this, and I don't agree with this decision.
Meanwhile, let's go across to our panelists. Joining us today on the show, Dr. Laxmi Ashwin Gowda, who's joining us, a spokesperson with the BJP. We also have other panelists on our show, Ajay HM, a trustee of the Karnataka State Motorists Union. We also have Advocate Nikhil Jain, a political analyst, who's going to be joining us. But more importantly, we want to hear from you, the viewers, as well, which is why here on Times Now, we are inviting you, the viewers, to connect with us on the phone numbers there at the bottom of your screens. If there is anything you'd want to say about the VVIP culture, should you, the people, not be the priority? Give us a call and let us know what you think. But till then, let me go across to Dr. Gowda, who's there on the show with us. Dr. Gowda, you must explain to us which side of the VVIP divide are you on? Because there are your former Chief Minister Basavaraj Bommai has said that it is unacceptable. However, there are several other MLAs. They are still saying, well, we need a special VVIP lane for ourselves.
Thank you, madam. Ever since the Congress government came to power, it has always been mired with the controversies every now and then. All these days, they were lost doing the freebies politics. Now they work up to do all sort of misconceptions, allegations. Now, the person who is holding a constitutional position, who is responsible, is supposed to be most responsible and accountable, is making such a type of remarks is simply not acceptable. The ruling dispensation should be expected to act as a guardian of the welfareistic society. They should be able to value the constitutionality, the constitutional position, that is equal protection of the laws and equality before the laws. MLAs should also be treated like as a normal citizens when they are traveling in the road, because they are getting paid out of the taxpayers' money. When they are getting paid out of the taxpayers' money, they should be accountable, they should be responsible, they should also be standing on the par with the other citizens. They shouldn't behave aristocratically. They are not extraordinary people. They are elected. They are supposed to guard the welfareistic society. They're supposed to implement the welfareistic schemes. When they are supposed to do so, in contrast to their constitutional position, they are behaving
absolutely
sadly. It is simply not acceptable.
And it's also interesting because we've seen Prime Minister Modi just 5 days back hopping onto a metro saying that he did not want his entire convoy to block all the roads of Delhi during peak office hours, which is why he took a metro and went to the Delhi University. Let me also go across to some of our callers, several of them joining in. I'll come to you, Nikhil Jain, but let's get in some of the voices of our viewers as well. Radhika's calling us from Bengaluru, and VK Nayak is there with us as well. Radhika, our viewer, what would you like to say?
I'm from Bengaluru, the same constituency as the Speaker.
Okay.
So I think he is way out of his league. he should be thinking, because we too suffer here because of traffic jams.
Okay.
We take half an hour to travel as less as 3 kilometers. Who is there for us to see? And we get our salaries deducted if we reach late. Whereas for these people, nothing happens. First, let them provide good infrastructure to our citizens, and then let them ask for a free thing.
You've made a very good point. First, show us your work, show us the infrastructure, then demand perks for this power of yours. Very good point you've made. VK Nair, another viewer is joining us from Kerala. Go ahead, Mr. Nair.
Yes. देखिए मैं इतना कहना चाहता हूँ जो एमएलए मतलब जो हमारा जो नेता हमारे पास आता है वोट लेने के लिए, उस वक्त देखो तो हाथ जोड़ के आते हैं ना इन लोग,
बिल्कुल,
तो हमसे कहते हैं हमारे साथ रहते हैं, वो ही है। हम तो सारा इंडिविजुअल जो है, अगर एक पैकेट नमक भी खरीदता है, कुछ खरीदता है तो टैक्स देता है। इन लोगों को टैक्स देने में क्या तकलीफ है? हमारा प्राइम मिनिस्टर जी खुद कहते हैं हम जो है ना ये भारत का चौकीदार करते हैं, है नहीं
जी? बिल्कुल
नहीं, फिर इन लोगों को जो है ना इतना वीआईपी कल्चर में नहीं जाना चाहिए। इन लोग जरूर टैक्स देना चाहिए, इसी में कोई गुंजाइश नहीं करना चाहिए।
Absolutely, very well explained there. Dhananjay, our viewers calling us from Faridabad as well. Dhananjay.
Yeah, good evening, madam.
Good evening.
Madam, it is like this, that these people are forgetting that they have been elected by the common people to the post of MLAs and all the ministers. Okay, even recently, you rightly pointed out the Prime Minister himself has taken a metro from his residence to the Delhi University to address the students. And why these people have got, especially the Congress people have this culture that they feel that they are like gods.
Well, unfortunately, this is a culture, the Lal Bati culture, which cuts across party lines as well. Nikhil Jain wanted to come in. Nikhil, we've seen Modi hopping on to a metro. We've seen Rahul Gandhi walking across India. But a lot of it seems to be for the top bosses. Those are the messages which may be going out. But when it comes to their own MLAs, the scene seems to be something very different.
Meghna, first of all, when the Prime Minister is travelling in the metro, we're all forgetting that his security is actually blocking the metro. If anybody is actually believing that the Prime Minister actually stood in a line and travelled like a common citizen of the metro, they should look at the photographs and they would understand that that is not how metro operates in rush hour traffic. It was completely an optic. That apart, we must all realize that the MLAs and MPs may be elected by the people, but at the end of the day, they are public representatives who are doing the work of millions of people, as are government officers. And for them to carry out their work properly is something that requires special privileges that have been afforded to these people since time immemorial across party lines. Of course, I'm not saying that these MPs and MLAs don't misuse their privileges. I'm not saying that they sometimes don't go overboard. But if an expressway has a lot of lanes and one lane is reserved for emergency vehicles, public servants and public representatives, I don't see a problem with that. Of course, if there is an MLA who's saying that we are only 100 MLAs in a state of 7 crore people and we need a separate lane for us, that I don't support, but I don't think that is the demand of the Congress MLAs.
But Nikhil Jain, one quick question. You just heard all these viewers coming in. One of them said, first show us the infrastructure, then demand perks like this. We don't have the infrastructure to put aside a separate lane. Today, across India, there were rains. People, including me, all of us were stuck in jam for hours. From that, if you take out a VVIP lane only for the MLAs who at the time you are thinking about, who have failed to deliver, who failed to give you the infrastructure, how are you going to justify this to the people?
See, first of all, India is a country that is known for its fast developing infrastructures in the past 20-30 years. So to say that we have not had any infrastructure growth, we have not had any highways, expressways, metros, big roads, flyovers would be farcical. Secondly, the same common people who will now have a problem with these MLAs and MPs being awarded special privileges so that they can travel faster would have a problem when these same MPs and MLAs are going to miss sessions of the House, they're going to miss meetings, they're going to miss making decisions that requires.
Well, as another one of our viewers has said, when we get late to office, their salaries get deducted. So at that time, do you want a greater traffic jam so that these MLAs can actually go to the assembly? Well, viewers at least don't seem to believe that. Ajay HM, would you like to weigh in?
First of all, I would like to really appreciate Times Now for raising the concern on the VIP culture which has been across India. It's been really followed on a high time, and this is a time where they need to understand that they are the lawmakers. They have to address the outcry of the public and not become a crying babies themselves for the assemblies. Assemblies are supposed to be there for the public outcry, not for the self outcry. If you hear what Mr. Narendra Swamy, the MLA from Malavalli, had raised, he had a concern on showing the MLA card and the person at the toll gate verifying that for a minute. If an MLA is being given a free pass on the VIP lane without any checking, that would make a lot of impact. I mean, everyone, it's not about one MLA, right? There are only 24 MLAs in Karnataka, and it's not a concern he's raising. The concern, I believe, the most of the times is it's not only one car which is going on a MLA's ticket. Many people, the MLA's families, MLA's, supporters, followers, they will start using that kind of a card, and they will start misusing that kind of a facilities which has been genuinely given for a VIP lane. VIP lane, if you consider the normal, public, if a common man has to go through a toll gate, thanks to the FASTag, right? I mean, hardly it will take 20 seconds, 30 seconds, a minute, 60 seconds. It wouldn't take more than that. I mean, I don't understand what more they want.
Absolutely.
Probably they're asking for a tunnel road directly from the NH highways to the Vidhan Soda, so that they can just, without any stoppage, they can go for. I mean, what today? I mean, today they are asking for a.
What more? What more is what Ajay HM is asking, and I think with those words we are going to wrap up this bulletin, because our views have been overwhelming. Thank you so much, all our panelists, for joining us here on the show. It's time to put people first as your priority. With that, a short break.